Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers from all over the world. We are here again for another episode of Ibulgar Mo.
What is up mga Abulgar? We are back for another episode kung saan may kikilalanin na naman tayo isang astig na personalidad na iniidolo nating lahat.
Mga kabulgar, let's all welcome actor and mixed martial artist Kiko Matos.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening sa lahat ng viewers natin dyan, nationwide and internationally dahil maraming Pinoy sa buong mundo.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you,
for
Kiko,
being
for being
here.
here.
Yeah.
No, thank you for having me.
Kiko, nakilala ka as an actor and a mixed martial artist, right? Pero kwentuhan mo naman kami about your childhood because we know you're half Filipino and half Portuguese. Did you grow up here in the Philippines?
I was born in Macau,
Oh, in Macau.
which was a Portuguese colony. Nung 6 years old ako, lumipat kami dito sa Pinas.
6 years old.
So technically, foreignoy.
So your mom is Filipino working based in Macau?
In
Yes.
Macau, okay. Do you have siblings?
Dalawa lang kami.
Oh.
So from Macau, how was it like migrating to the
Migrating here in
Philippines?
the
Number one,
Philippines.
weather.
Yeah.
Doon may malamig tayo dito. How was it like for you when you first got here in the Philippines?
Well, it was a shock as a kid. Kasi ang Macau, even sa schools, westernized na rin. Alam niyo yung itsura ng school sa Amerika, sa mga pelikula, di ba? Na may mga lockers, ganyan.
So it was like that.
It was like that.
Okay.
Tapos instead na yung teacher yung na lumilipat sa classroom, yung class mismo yung lumilipat ng room papunta
room,
sa
yes.
teachers. So pagdating dito sa Pinas, iba lahat. And yung stray dog sa Macau, German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mga ganun. Tapos
Yeah.
pagdating dito, Askal.
Yes,
Ganun. So, it was a shock. Ibang-iba talaga.
But during that time you were in Macau, what was your first language?
My first language was Portuguese talaga.
Portuguese
Right.
talaga.
And then, my mom spoke to us in English. I learned Tagalog staying here.
But studying in Macau, did you learn, is it Mandarin?
Cantonese.
Cantonese.
I was conversing na in Cantonese, pero nawala lahat yun.
Nawala eh.
Which is
kasi
hard.
6 years old.
Cantonese is really hard.
Oo.
Harder than Mandarin eh. So, how was it like? Balik mo dito, you knew how to speak Tagalog.
No. Luckily, I had a lot of cousins.
Oh, you have relatives here.
Hindi sila nag-English.
Yeah, Tagalog lang.
Tagalog lang.
Yeah.
So, parang mabilis lang kami noon natuto
Yeah, at
mag-Tagalog.
that age kasi mabilis sila mag-adapt.
Correct.
Yeah. So we've also read that your parents separated. How did that affect you growing up?
Well,
And how old are you then?
my dad left to Portugal to work. 2005, I was 15. I really didn't think about them separating because ang alam ko, magtatrabaho siya.
Right.
But as time went by, kasi sanay ako na kasama ko yung dad ko, how it affected me as a teenager, I was, ang dami kong ginawang rebellious na mga gawain na hindi ko usually ginagawa before.
Yeah.
I got into a lot of trouble as a teenager, which I guess it made me stronger.
But also, was it because you were looking for someone to discipline you, a father figure?
I guess baliktad. I was retaliating.
Right.
You know, I got into vices like smoking, drinking, and then eventually getting high. I got into, mga samahan, mga kapatiran. And I guess mabilis ako nag-mature ng mga panahon na yon. In the end of it, when I think about it, parang yun pa yung nag-ano sa akin eh. Nagpalakas sa
Yeah.
akin eh. And as an adult, alam ko na kung ano yung mga kalokohan, alam ko na yung mga taong iiwasan.
So, but as a young adult, during your high school, college, what's a day like for you?
The thing is kasi when my dad went away, I was with Star Magic. So nahinto yung pag-aaral ko.
Right.
So nag-aano ako noon, artista ako noon.
How old were you when you entered showbiz ba?
13.
13.
Sino mga kabatch mo?
Kasi syempre,
Si AJD, Aaron Villena.
Oh, right.
Sinali ako ng nanay ko sa isang talent show sa MTV, sa Channel 2. Finalist ako noon. Kasama sila AJD, Aaron, si Jay Season, si Mark Cortez. 5 kami noon. Ang tawag sa amin noon was the TV Idol, You're the Man.
Right.
Oo. And then, because of that, nahinto na ako sa pag-aaral. Nung umalis dad ko, so mas nagrebelde ako, hindi ko talaga tinapos yung pag-aaral ko. And Kumbaga parang ang sinabi ko na lang noon, parang ayoko sayangin yung pera ng parents ko. Ayoko sayangin yung pera nyo. So, hayaan nyo na lang yung kapatid ko na mag-aral. Kasi ako, alam kong magiging disappointment na ako sa inyo. Kumbaga parang, imbis na lokohin ko yung magulang ko, naging honest na lang ako. And then, during those teenage years, I guess ang ginawa ko talaga was racket, modeling. I was just fending for myself during those years and trying to figure out what I want to do.
But you were also enjoying it that time.
Yes, of course, because I had so much free time.
Yeah.
I had so much free time. All my classmates were in college. Some of them had children. I had freedom. I had a choice. If I wanted to stay out late at night, didn't have to wake up early in the morning. Eventually, something that you don't know, I found a corporate job in Makati. I was 21 years old. After modeling, naging sales representative ako sa isang real estate company.
Ano to? Ito yung mga nagbibigay ng flyers.
Yes, pero hindi kami yun.
Okay.
Yun yung nature ng work. Oo.
Right.
What we do, we would book appointments with
Right,
clients.
right.
They were more keen into telemarketing,
Right.
booking appointments.
And did your being a celebrity or model then helped you?
Oh yes, very much. Kasi we were known to have other celebrities and models
As part of the group.
as part of the group. So when my friend was trying to influence me to join, I said, yeah, why not? Puro naman tayo pala models. Kasi yung nagpasok ulit sa akin nun was also a model.
Model din.
Oo.
Okay. Kiko, how did it start na paano ka pumasok as being an MMA fighter?
Oh, the thing is, I don't really consider myself as an MMA
So
fighter.
it was just like a hobby for you? Like,
Oh no, it was all because of kay Baron, guys.
oh, because of him. Okay.
People think that I was always a fighter before. No, like I had no experience in MMA back in 2016 nung naglabang kami ni Baron. Wala.
Pero no training at all. Kasi
No training at all.
Oh, okay.
ang layo nung
Oh, mukha nga akong tanga dun. No training at all. I trained after the fight.
Right.
I trained after.
You
Kasi
fell in love with the sport?
I fell in love with jiu-jitsu mainly.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu, it's a grappling martial art. So, growing up kasi, we live in a Pacquiao country. We live in a boxing
Yes.
country. So, ang kinakasanayan natin always was boxing,
Boxing,
suntukan.
yes.
When I experienced jiu-jitsu, taking down people, locking them, submitting them, may iba palang approach
Yes.
on how to subdue an opponent.
Then just punching, right?
Than just punching and kicking. You can just take them down pala.
Yeah.
Oo. And then eventually, nagkaroon ako ng kumpiyansa sa sarili ko na I can go wherever and protect myself. Yung palang nagagawa ng martial arts.
So, you said na it was your mom who actually, nung sinali ka doon sa contest sa ABS. But was acting or being a celebrity something you really wanted?
I think as a kid, everybody wants to become famous. I think everybody wants to have
Yes.
money. And we don't know what we want when we're kids.
But you knew because you knew that you were good looking.
I knew I was mestizo.
You knew that you have a shot at it, the industry.
But the thing is kasi, it wasn't me who stepped into the audition. It was my mom pushing me.
Right.
If I could do it all again, maybe I should have just studied. Parang when I think about it. But then again, I don't want to live in regret.
Right.
Because what I've learned is, kung ano talagang bigay sa'yo ng buhay, kailangan mong tanggapin eh.
And enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah, as a kid, I wanted to become an actor. But as an adult, parang mas gusto ko ng privacy.
Kiko, what were the films that you did na you can say that you're proud of?
All of the films that I've done naman, I'm proud of. Pero the very memorable talaga was the first one. It was my introducing role, Babagwa. It was a Cinemalaya entry. It was directed by Jason Polaksamana. It was about a swindler. Somebody who was pretending to be somebody like a poser online.
Yes.
The premise of the story is he uses my picture, played by Alex Medina, to swindle people. So pagdating sa pelikula, yung victim tatawag kay Alex Medina. So makikita si Alex sasagot ng phone. Pero pag nagsalita, ako.
Okay.
Ganun. Kasi ang ini-imagine nung victim,
Yung face mo.
ako yung kausap niya. Hindi ko makakalimutan yun kasi first of all, unang-una, and siya talaga nagbigay ng break sa akin sa pagiging artista.
Was it a hard film to make? I mean, it was your first starring role.
Any film is difficult to make. It is not an easy film. Kaya nga lagi sinasabi ng mga tao, pinaghirapan namin to, sana panoorin nyo.
Correct.
Walang madali sa paggawa
Ilang
ng
days,
pelikula.
ilang hours na walang tulog.
Yes.
Kiko, you were also part of Batang Quiapo.
Oh, yes.
How was that experience? Kasi syempre, di ba, parang lahat gustong maging
Everyone's
part ng
watching
Batang
it
Quiapo.
too.
How was that experience for you?
Ang mahirap maging parte ng Batang Quiapo. Hindi ako nagre-reklamo. It was one of the challenging projects that I've done. Kasi ang Batang Quiapo ay isang action piece yan eh.
Right.
Usually kasi pag action, pag pelikula kasi, let's say, gagawa ka ng action movie, 7 days to 15 days or maybe 30 days, tapos na.
Correct.
Ang Batang Quiapo, ilang years nag-run, 'di ba? Action 'yan every week. So, kunwari, kami nila Lito Lapid, nila Lorna Tolentino, grupo namin. Minsan, usap-usap lang. Pag lalabas na kami ng headquarters, takbuhan, barilan, and by the end of the day, lagi kaming pagod
Oo.
and everything. Pero hindi, I'm not saying this dahil nagreklamo ako. I'm just saying it because it was a challenge talaga. And I'm the type of person na pag ako binigyan mo ako ng trabaho, ay kailangan ko tapusin yan. Hindi pwedeng hindi ko tatapusin. And Batang Quiapo was one of the biggest challenges na pasalamat ako na natapos ko rin. And to work with Coco Martin, sobrang, alam mo yun, you're witnessing a legend, a living legend. So, very memorable sa akin ng Batang Quiapo. Hindi ko makakalimutan yung project na yun.
Kiko, rewind lang tayo ng konti. You had an issue with Baron Geyser. Can you tell us more about it? Okay na ba kayo ni Baron? How did it start? Ano nangyari? Like,
Well, the thing is kasi, it was really just a project eh.
it was a project.
I think everybody knows eh. It was for a documentary. My friend, si Direk Eshe, siya yung nag-direct. He wanted to prove that people would give attention to nonsense instead of anything that is socially relevant.
Right.
Kunwari, pag may malaking issue dito sa bansa natin, usually ginagawa ng mga perpetrators, ay hahanap sila ng ibang issue para matakpan tong issue. At yun yung gusto niyang patunayan. So it was a social experiment. And nagkataon lang talaga na si Baron at ako ang napili.
Right.
And wala naman talaga kaming issue ni Baron. Pinakilala kami, nag-usap kami. Akala ng Pilipinas magkaaway ka talaga kami, magkagalit. Pero nagkikita kami. Nag-birthday si Baron nun.
And you were
Pumunta ako. Buong Pilipinas, gusto magpatayan kami. Tas kami ni Baron, behind closed doors, nagtatawanan lang kami. Ganun. And then we had to fight. Because Baron, he's a really good actor. And I wanted to prove myself that ako rin, magaling ako. So, I had to portray my part and he had to do his part. Hanggang sa tinapos rin namin yung social experiment na yan. And I guess it's safe to talk about it now because it's been 10 years.
been 10
Long
years.
time ago.
10 years, yeah.
Kiko, fast forward, nagkaroon ka rin ng thing with Rendon naman.
Wala akong ting kay Rendon.
I mean, like, nagkaroon
I'm
ng
not
issue.
gay.
Ayun. No, I mean, nagkaroon kayo ng issue din.
Wala rin
Na
issue.
nag-away daw kayo.
The thing is kasi with Rendon, during that time, lahat tayo walang ginagawa.
Right.
And nagsimula lahat nung boxing portion ng Battle of the YouTubers. And ang habol rin namin kasi, ano kaya yung puputok na, kunwari may mag-aaway, ganyan. So nagkataon, na tas si Rendon naman, he was willing to do it. And I was willing to do it. So, nag-ano kami, gumawa kami na rin ng eksena, kinda like kung ano rin ginawa namin kay Baron. Pero we issue with Rendon, no, there's no issue naman.
So you guys are friends?
Yes. We're okay. Nagbabatian kami, but we're not that close
Yeah.
or anything. I mean, he has his motivated 3v3. I'm not really into basketball, and I have my projects in acting and ano.
Kiko, with all the controversies na nadidikit sa'yo, do you think na nililabel ka as bad boy because of that?
I think that's a good thing. I mean, I can just go anywhere and nobody takes a piss at me, and Because before, parang when I was a matinee idol, people didn't really take notice of me. Eh ngayon, parang pag dumating ako sa isang lugar, ay, yun, si Kiko Matos, buta, nananapak yan. So parang ako, okay, good.
Saka halos lahat ng role mo, di ba? Parang may pagka-bad boy.
Parang ganun na rin. Pero yung sa Batang Quiapo, mabait ako dun.
Mabait ka doon.
Which leads me to my next question. With all the controversies, yung nga, puro away, why is it nice to be you?
Because people perceive and think differently of me. But they don't really know me. So parang masaya ako kung sino ako. Masaya ako kung anong ginagawa ko. Tapos, yung mga tao, pag iniisip nila ako, iba ang sinasabi nila. Iba yung nasa isip nila. So parang natutuwa ako, at least you don't know anything about me.
Right. Pero do you get random people coming up to you, inaaway ka because of your image?
No.
No.
Ito natutunan ko with virality. Anybody who goes viral, binabash yan online. They get death threats online. Pagdating sa personal, everybody just asks for a picture.
Yeah.
10 years ago, nung sa amin ni Baron, buong Pilipinas, binabash ako online. Yung phone ko nagahang. Kasi yung notifications ko was 99999 plus, di ba? Akala ko noon, parang pag lumabas ako, bigla na lang ako sasapakin.
Oh, yeah.
No, when I went outside, lahat sila parang, Idol, pa-picture, ikaw yung sumapak kay Baron. Parang, okay, wala talagang may galit. So anybody who bashes you online, parang nagpapapansin lang. Maybe wala siyang ginagawa sa buhay. Dahil nainis siya sa'yo in that moment, so ibabash ka niya. Ang dali lang kasi magsalita online.
Correct.
Pero to do it in person, mahirap gawin.
Kiko, may aatrasan ka bang laban sa buhay mo or sa showbiz?
Dati, sinasabi ko wala. Ngayon, meron. Kasi iniisip ko lang lagi ngayon yung anak ko. So parang I used to orchestrate these mga away-away online, di ba? Ngayon, hindi na. Because I'm always just thinking about my daughter and parang I don't want eventually, when she goes to school, bigla akong pumutok na naman, meron akong controversy.
Siya yung mabully.
Yeah.
Tas siya yung mabully.
How old is your daughter?
She's 7.
7.
So, I don't really want anything to jeopardize her childhood.
Yeah.
And I'm really protective of her innocence. I don't really post or include her in my blogs because I don't want her to be corrupted with fame,
Yes.
with social media. Because naniniwala ako na parang if she's meant for show business, then eventually she will find her way.
Yes.
But I don't want to force it to her. I want to protect her childhood, her innocence, and as much as possible, lumaki siyang normal. Wala nga siyang phone eh. Hindi siya pwedeng
Bawal pa.
Bawal.
Bawal siya mag-TikTok or... But don't get me wrong, she can play Roblox on the computer.
Right.
Yeah.
She can watch YouTube on the computer. But on school days, wala talaga. Wala.
Which is a good thing
Yeah.
naman. Kiko, what scares you?
What scares me? What scares me? Yung price ng gas.
No, ako talaga.
Lahat naman takot doon.
Natatakot ako talaga. Ngayon pa nga lang eh. Parang sobrang mahal na lumuwas eh. And I live in Antipolo, di ba? No, but I come out when I'm needed. Not unlike before na
Gimmick.
wala na talaga, no. And kahit mga networking, mga parties to network, hindi na. I think, in my opinion, we're in a crisis. Parang pandemic all over again.
Yeah.
So,
Kiko, what lesson or discipline did you learn being an MMA artist?
repetition.
Repetition talaga.
Yeah, repetition. Anything that you do, and if you want to learn something, repetition. And fail all the time.
So you can
Fail
be
because-
better.
Yes, because people are intimidated with trying out new things.
Yeah.
Because people think na parang, ay, baka masapak ako dyan, baka ma-knockout ako dyan, baka masakal ako dyan. It comes with it. Kasama yun. Pero kung takot ka para subukan yun, takot ka na masapak, takot ka na ma-knockout, walang mangyayari sa'yo. You won't get out of your shell.
Tapos sometimes when you push yourself to the limit, that's when you'll know what you can actually do.
And then eventually, malalaman mo, ay, hindi pa pala to yung limit ko.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oo.
Nag-try out ka rin sa UFC, right? You were able to join UFC.
No.
No?
You-
I saw one. Ano? Yeah, no?
That's Bas Rutten.
Oh.
Si Bas Rutten, kamukha ko siya. He's an MMA fighter back in the 90s. And yung shape ng ulo namin, pareho. And people mistake that guy for me. But he's legit. Like, he's been fighting. And then, alam niyo yung trend ngayon na, Dad, what were you in the 90s? So, ginamit ko yung videos ni Bas Rutten.
Oh, I saw that.
As people were reacting. And eventually, parang, okay, kahit pa paano. Ngayon, na-link ko na kung bakit iniisip ng tao na mixed martial arts fighter talaga. Baka iniisip nila na ako si Bas Rutten.
Baka nga.
Ayun.
What are your goals now?
My goals now is really just survive this crisis. Pero, kidding aside, it's really my kid. And I have another one. He's 2 years old. And nawala na yung mga goals para sa sarili ko eh.
Napunta na sa kanila, no? Yeah.
As in, ano lang talaga eh, yung education, yung bahay nila, everyday nila. Yun na lang talaga yung iniisip ko eh. Wala na yung pansarili. I guess this is what having kids do to you eh.
Yes, that's true.
Sobrang nag-iba yung mundo ko nang dahil sa mga anak ko na hindi ko akalain na posibleng mangyari. Kasi before, it was just me. It was just the ego.
Yeah.
Now, it's just, no, it's not about me anymore.
It's all about them.
It's about them, oo. And yun lang talaga iniisip ko, sila lang.
Kiko, we consider you as one of the most influential influencers in the Philippines, in the country. What a piece of advice can you give our viewers, mga inspiring artista, celebrity, influencer, and athletes?
Unfollow nyo yung mga toxic na influencers. I-follow nyo yung mga influencers na may matutunan kayo. Kasi kung yung mga chismis o puro kalokohan lang, walang hindi yan dadagdag sa mental health nyo. Kaya unfollow nyo na ako.
What's next for Kiko Matos?
What's next? Well, right now, we're taping Love Is Never Gone. Top billed by Joshua Garcia, Ivana Alawi. It's a love story shot in Morocco.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so we flew to Morocco. This is under Dreamscape Entertainment by ABS-CBN. And I think we'll be showing on May.
How are you different now from the young Kiko Matos?
I'm more calm. The young Kiko Matos kasi puro tira, walang isip. Di ba nga, think before you act. Before was, act lang. Wala nang think. Tira lang na tira. What I've learned is just take a step back muna. Pag-isipan mo. And if it doesn't help you as a person, it doesn't add value to you, wag na.
Kiko, last question. Aside from your kids, what makes you smile?
What makes me smile? Pag may bago akong project. Feeling ko parang, okay, hindi ako laos. May project eh. Ayun.
Kiko, kulang ang oras pero that's all the time we had. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
I know. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
See you guys again next time.